answer is arrangement. So that's letter B. When you see arrangement, you are going to arrange the items or the objects, and that process is what we call permutation. So later on, we'll have examples of this. Let us proceed to number two.
Forming different
So
triangles
for
using
number
different
two,
points on the plane. And the answer is
which of the following situations or activities involve permutation? So sabi natin, when it comes to permutation, it involves arrangement. Sa tingin ninyo, yung matching shirts and pants ba for letter A? Is it permutation? Permutation or not? Permutation ba siya? Andyan ba kayo?
Hindi po.
Hindi po. Kasi wala namang arrangement dun eh. How about assigning telephone numbers? Kung nag-assign ako ng telephone number or cellphone number, pareho lang din yung concept. Mare, yung number nyo, 85552332.
Yes po.
Yes po. Why is it yes? May pinagkaiba ba? Kunwari, nag-start sa 85. Or kaya naman nag-start sa 58. May difference ba yung dalawa?
Meron po.
Meron po, of course. Siyempre, the arrangement is important. The places, their position is important. Okay? So, iba yung nauna yung 5, iba naman kapag nauna yung 8. So, kapag tumawag ka, though magkakapareho yung mga numbers na ginamit, pero magkakaiba yung arrangement. Iba na yung matatawagan mo, right? So, magkakaroon na ng wrong call, wrong text, kapag sa phone naman o sa cellphone naman nangyari. Diba? Konting mali man lang sa number or magkabaliktad man yung number, magiging iba na yung may-ari ng number na yun. Forming a committee from the members of a club. Mare, we have here in PONCE, pipili ako ng 5 sa inyo. At yung, kunwari, 3 na lang. Mas konti. Kunwari, napili ko si Julieta, si Ibias, tsaka si Molabola. Okay? So, ang gagawin ko, yung 3 yun, committee yun. Now, is it an arrangement or not? Arrangement ba siya o hindi?
Hindi po.
Bakit?
Kasi pinili, hindi siya naka-arrange. Parang same lang yung same silang committee lahat.
Ibig sabihin, kahit unahin kong piliin si Ibias, sumunod si Malabola, sunod si Julieta. Or kaya naman unahin ko si Julieta, bago si Malabola, bago si Ibias. It doesn't change anything. Kasi sila ay isang committee lang. There is no position involved. So yun yung importante doon. That you know that since it is the same set of person, doesn't change anything. Hindi tulad sa numbers. Kapag nagbago yung position nila, even if you have the same set of numbers, magiging iba na yung arrangement niya, magiging iba na yung number na tatawagan mo, and so on. So for letter D, forming different triangles out of 5 points on a plane, now 3 of which are collinear. Ipo-form ka lang ng triangles given 5 points on a plane. So for sure, hindi lang kayo familiar dito sa sentence na to. Yes, it is forming a triangle out of 5 points. Kaya lang niya sinabi tong no, 3 of which are collinear. Para to make sure na lahat ng points ay makakabuo ng triangles, different triangles, and so on. Okay, so that's not the answer because Still, there is no arrangement involved. Okay? Now let's have number 3. So here for number 3 and 5, or 3 to 5, we have to choose the letter of the underlined phrase or sentence that contains the condition in each given permutation. So when you say condition, ano ba yung specific or specified situation na binigay sa'yo for the given problem? So like for example, number 3, at a used car lot, 7 different car models are to be parked close to the road for easy viewing. The 3 red cars must be parked, so there is a red car at each end and one exactly at the middle. So alin kaya dyan? Is it A, B, or C yung um, phrase or sentence that contains the condition?
C po, ma'am.
Letter C.
C po.
Letter C. Why is it letter C?
Meron
Sir?
pong must be.
There is a clue, or I mean, you used a clue word that says must be, or the red cars must be parked. So dahil binigyan ka ng specified situation or condition, meaning this sentence contains the condition of a given permutation. So when we say permutation, hi Mariose. So going back, so the sentence that contains the condition is letter C.
The road for easy viewing. The 3 red cars must be parked, so there is a red car at each end and one exactly in the middle.
Let us add number 4. So for number 4,
The answer is a blue book and number 4. Chris has a green book, a yellow book, a blue book, and a red book that he wants to put in a line on the shelf. He decided that the green book must go at either end.
so which of the following is the phrase or the statement that contains the condition?
B.
B. He wants to put in a line on a shelf. Is it the condition or is it the answer? Kanina marami nagsagot, ngayon isa lang. How about the
Po.
others? Bakit po?
Yun po yung gusto niya eh. He wants po.
Pero,
Yung si po pala, sorry.
the answer should be letter C. He decided that the green book must go at either end. Meaning, ano ibig sabihin nun? So, ilan ba yung green book natin? Meron tayong isang green book, isang yellow book, isang blue, at isang red. So, ang gusto niya lang, either end. Whether nasa kaliwa or nasa kanan, basta nasa dulo yung grid. So, yun yung situation. Yun yung specified condition na binigay. Okay? So, the answer here is letter C. So, ano napansin nyo? Yung object, which is green book, binigyan tayo ng direction kung saan siya ilalagay. Okay? Doon sa una, sa kanina, sa number 3, yung red cars, tatlo yun, di ba? Tatlo yung red cars. So, yung mga cars na yun, binigyan naman din tayo ng direction kung saan siya lalagay. Ilalagay natin siya at each end. The 3 cars must be parked so that there is a red car at each end at exactly 1 in the middle. So kung tatlo yon, ito yung arrangement natin. Yung dito sa kanan, sa kaliwa, may red car at sa gitna mayroon. Okay? So binigyan tayo ng direction na gano'n. How about for number 5? We have Bobby, Rose, Chris, and Sheng are to be arranged in a line from left to right in such a way that Rose and Sheng cannot be side by side. Yes, what is the answer?
C, ma'am.
So the answer is letter C. Because there are two objects that cannot be seated, but two persons that don't want to sit together. And that is Rose and they don't want to sit side by side. So let us proceed to the recap. For the recap, I have here a situation.
List all the
There are
possible
5 frontliners that is on a train,
outcomes from the
and
choices
they were
below.
hungry and wanted to
For
buy something.
sandwiches, we have
Suppose that each of them
hamburger,
can choose a sandwich,
chicken sandwich, and egg
and
sandwich.
our
For
task is to
beverages,
list all the
we have
possible
orange
outcomes
juice
from the
and
choices below. So which of the following, we are going to list um, the possible choices na pwedeng pagpilian ng ating mga frontliners. So we have here different sandwiches, hamburger, chicken sandwich, and egg sandwich. Then we also have the beverages. We have the orange juice and the coffee. So kung as a frontliner, gutom ka, may mili ka, of course, isa sa sandwich at isa sa beverage. So how many possible outcomes kaya yung pwedeng pagpilian ng mga frontliners na to? They're going to choose one from the sandwiches and one from the beverages.
6,
Why is it 6?
ano po,
12.
yung
12? Why is it 6? Why is it 12?
6 kasi hamburger juice or hamburger coffee, 2, tapos chicken, orange juice or chicken coffee, sabay egg or orange juice, saka egg or coffee, 6.
Or so let's say, itama natin yung sinabi niya, hamburger and orange juice, hamburger and coffee. Pwede din naman chicken and coffee, chicken and juice. Pwede rin naman egg and juice, egg and coffee. So hindi or ha, the word should be and. So yun yung konsepto niya. So you can also use listing method or pag nag-listing method tayo, you'll see the combination. So we'll have hamburger, orange juice, and so on. Okay. So if you look at the given
with an orange juice.
list, you'll see
And
that
of
there
course,
are six outcomes, six choices where the five frontliners
an
can
egg
choose
sandwich
from.
paired with a
So there
coffee.
are six choices to
After
choose.
listing, we found out that the front line
So let's proceed to our lesson
and its
proper. And to start our lesson proper, here is a trivia. So for your trivia, if you know the word anagram, when we say anagram, it is a type of wordplay. It is the result of arranging letters of words or phrase to produce a new word or phrase using the original letters exactly once. Like for example, the word air is an anagram of the word higher. So if you can see here, there are four letters. That's H-E-I-R. And those letters, if you rearrange it and form a new word, it's called anagram. And if you rearrange the letters, you'll have the word higher. So I have here 10 words that you need to arrange. And our clue here, or our hint, is that you will arrange these letters to form a body part. Okay? To form kayo ng word, that is a body part. We have A, this AR, B, gel, C, RAM, this A, nilam, F, fringe, G, earth, and H, improve. So you think of the word, an anagram of these words. Yes, ano po yung nabuo niyong word? Let's start with letter A.
Ear po.
The word is ear. Correct. Letter B,
Leg
Leg
po.
po.
leg. Letter C,
Arm.
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 Letter D,
Skin po.
Skin.
skin. Letter E,
Palm. Palm
yes,
po.
letter E, palm. Letter F,
Finger po.
finger. Letter G,
Heart.
Heart po.
heart. Next, letter H. Ano for letter H? Pasok ah.
Armpit po.
The word is armpit. Yeah. So yung mga ginawa natin is we simply arrange the letters for us to form a new word. Okay, so yung arranging letters or the word arrange here, you can relate that also to mathematics. In mathematics, if you use the word arrange or if the word arrange is associated with the word permutation. Same concept here, you are arranging. Sa permutation, you also arrange, but not just the words or the letters, but it can be a book, it can be a person arranging in a straight line, okay? It can be a book arranging in a shelf. Pwede rin namang arranging numbers to form a telephone number, a code, and so on. So those processes is what we call permutation. So in mathematics, when it comes to mathematics, the word arrangement pertains to the word permutation. So what does permutation mean? When we say permutation, it is the arrangement. Okay? Laging tatandaan yung word na arrangement. The permutation of the set of objects is an ordered arrangement of the items. So for us to have a clear idea of this permutation, let's have an example. So for number one example, we have to list all the possible three-letter arrangement in the word ear. So whatever the arrangement is, basta ang goal natin is to arrange the letters um, of the word ear. So since it has three letters, we can all start with each letter. So let us start with letter E. If we start with letter E, of course, the next letters or the arrangement that can be formed by following the position. So there is a first position, there is a second position, and of course there is a third position kasi tatlo nga yung letters. So if we start with E, the next letter can be A, pwede rin namang R. If we do that, if we choose A, the next letter would be R. And we can form the arrangement EAR. Now, if we start with E and then followed by R, the next letter is letter A. So we have ERA or ERA. Then, of course, hindi ka lang sa E mag-start. You also can start the arrangement using letter A. And we'll have A, E, R. Or kaya naman, A, R, E. So these are the arrangement. And same process, if we start the arrangement with R, so we'll have REA and RAE. Okay? So looking at the following, we have formed 6 different arrangements. So these are the list of all the possible three arrangements or three-letter arrangements of the word here. Okay? Now let's have the next example. Now we are asked to answer the question how many three-letter arrangement in the word ear can be formed satisfying the given conditions. So there are specific conditions given. Yung una, if okay, if the first letter is E. So ilan daw sa mga arrangements na yon ang first letter ay E. So there are two arrangements. Now how about for letter B? The vowels are together. So let's look at how many arrangements thus or have the vowels together. That's 4. Itong arrangement na to, yung EAR, EER, REA, and RAE. So how about for letter C? The vowels are not together. So there are two arrangements like the ERA and AR. So let's have this third example. We have to look at the following situations and identify alin kaya dito sa tatlong to ang permutation. Is it A, the number of ways a president, a vice president, and a treasurer can be chosen from a group of 20 persons? Is it B, Aki is planning to purchase a photo album? It comes in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. And the cover comes in soft and hardbound. The pages can be glossy or silk, and the print can be colored black or black and white. how many choices that key have for the photo album? Or is it letter C, the number of four-digit code that can be made using the digits from 0 to 9? If the repetition of the digits ang alam. So, alin dyan sa tatlong yan? Tell me the letters. Kung alin dyan yung permutation.
Letter C.
Letter C because of arrangement of numbers. And remember, it's arrangement of code. Whenever you create a code for your cellphone lock, di ba? Ginagawa natin. Kunwari, ang gusto mo lang na number na meron yung code mo ay 0 tsaka 6. In-arrange lang natin siya iba-iba. Di ba? Pero yung 0660 ay iba sa 6006 and so on and so forth. So kapag nag-arrange ng code, automatically that is permutation. Kasi magkakaiba yung posisyon, magkakaiba yung arrangement. Okay? Alin pa?
B po.
Letter?
B.
Why is it letter B?
Marami po siyang pwedeng choices dun sa mga pagpipilian po.
Apo. Pag nag-arrange ba tayo, marami tayong pinagpipilian?
Minsan po.
Sa letter C, meron, marami. That's 0 to 9. Pero, ang question ko is, yung 0 to 9, yun yung numbers, right? It's one group only. Do we have other groups to choose from? I mean, to arrange, to get numbers to arrange? Meron ba? You look at letter B. Sabi nga, it comes in 3 sizes. So, una, merong sizes. Pangalawa, it has soft or hard bound. Yung cover. Yung pages niya can be glossy or silk. Yung pages. Yung print niya, can be colored or black and white. So, as you can see in letter B, there are 4 groups. And each of the 4 groups has different choices. Okay? And if that is the case, hindi siya magiging permutation. Why? Kasi iba-iba yung grupo na pinagpipilian mo. Unlike in permutation, like in letter C, you're given a certain group kung saan ka lang mamili. That's 0 to 9 only. Meaning that's permutation. Okay? How about in letter A? There is a certain group also. Group of what? How many persons?
20 po.
20. So itong grupo na to, which is comprises of 20 persons, dun lang tayo mamimili. Isang grupo lang yung pinagpilian natin. Okay? Pag ganun yung situation na binigay, that is already permutation. And you are arranging because of the positions. Ano yung mga positions? President, Vice President, Treasurer. Hindi tulad sa letter B, kapag pumili ka, kunwari, ang pinili ko small, soft, glossy, colored. Does it change anything kapag inuna kong piliin yung colored? Tapos pinangalawa ko si small, tapos pinangatlo ko si glossy, tapos last choice ko si soft. Does it change anything? The arrangement changed, pero yung set of order, it doesn't matter kasi it doesn't change anything kapag naging nabuo yung product. Yun at yun pa rin na magiging itsura ng product mo. So, una sa titingnan nyo, if you are given a situation, Kapag iba-iba yung grupo na pinagpipilian, that's not permutation. Pangalawa, if you are choosing from the different groups and it will give you the same output kahit sinong mauna mong piliin, still that's not permutation. Because in permutation, arrangement is important. What goes first is important, what goes second, third, and so on. For number 4, identify and underline the phrase or statement in each of the following situations that shows a condition. So for letter A, Rose, Malu, and Sheena are to be arranged in a line from left to right. But Sheena wants to be placed in the right side. So which of the phrases states the condition? Alin dyan?
But she now wants to be placed po.
Opo. Because what Sheena wants has something to do with the arrangement. Okay, yung arrangement nila. Gusto niya sa right side siya. It has something to do with the position or positioning. Okay, how about letter B? Rose, Bobby, and Malu are to be seated in a row. Rose and Malu want to be seated next to each other.
Rose and Malu want to be seated next to each other po.
Opo. They want to be together. And that has something to do with the position. How about letter C? How will you arrange Chris, Rose, Bobby, and Sheena in a row if Chris and Bobby refuse to stand beside each other?
If Chris and Bobby refuse to stand beside each other. Ay,
Yes. If Chris and Bobby refuse to stand beside each other. So you are now getting better in identifying the phrases or statements or sentences that contains the condition. So now, let us try to further understand what does this condition. How can you identify the conditions in a given situation or problem? So, this conditions has three cases. Yung una is when an element must be placed in a specific position. Binigyan ka ng situation where a person, a thing, or should be placed. So that is the case number 1. And an example of this is Bobby must be the first student in the lineup. So kapag nakita niyo yung ganong klase ng condition, of course, that is the case number 1. Under siya ng case number 1 where you have to place the object in a certain position. How about in case number 2? So for case number 2, ang case number 2 natin ay when two or more elements must be grouped together, magkasama. And an example of this is like the situation given here that Catherine and Lorraine must sit together in a class. So if you encounter a problem stating that the two elements or objects must be grouped together, they must sit together, they must be placed side by side, that is under case number 2, that you have to group the objects or the elements. And also we have case number 3. Sa case number 3 naman, ang gagawin ninyo ay, or ang situation is that when two or more elements must not be grouped together. Yung una, case number 1, a certain element or object should be placed in a certain position. Yung pangalawa, magiging the objects or the elements must be grouped. And yung case number 3 naman, the elements or the objects must not be grouped together. Okay, so a good example of this is the books. Yung green book and the red book must not be placed next to each other on the shelf. So these are the cases, these are the conditions that you have to look in each permutation. There are permutations that there are no certain conditions given, but there are some that were given specified conditions. So ito yung mga yun. Case number 1, specific position. Case number 2, group together elements or objects. Then case number 3, objects or elements must not be grouped together. Okay? So for your reflection, don't forget to write this. Huwag kayong mag-alala yung compilation ng inyong, bala ko ngayong third quarter, compilation ng inyong mga valuing. Hindi ko na kasi nahabol ngayong second quarter. Kasi dahil din sa ibang hindi pa masyadong, kumbaga, ang daming pinapasang IA, di ba? So ayokong dumagdag, kaya hindi ko muna kinuha yung reflection nyo. Pero ngayong third quarter, magaganda kasi yung mga valuing sa third quarter. So I will require you talaga to create your own PowerPoint presentation of this. Okay? So during the pandemic period, one thing that we should be thankful to God was that we were given much time to stay at home with our family. Until now, we are doing this. On a separate sheet of paper, you have to list down 3 worthwhile activities that you have had done while staying at home according to your priorities and give the reasons why you choose them. So of course, it has something to do with permutation because you choose a certain activity. If kunwari, first activity mo ito, why is it first? You have to reason it out. Okay, why is it second? Why is it third? All you have to do is to choose 3 worthwhile activities. Okay? And nasagutan nyo naman tong post test. I don't know. The activities. So we will now proceed to module number 2. So for module number 2, we will be dealing with factorial. Antayin lang natin kasi nag-loading kayo. So for module number 2, we have factorials. And it also has something to do with permutation. So our goal here is to simplify the expressions with factorials. Now, let us start first, of course, with the pretest. So for the pretest, so N, P, what is the product of a positive integer N and all positive integers less than N? So is it A, B, C, or D? Pa-check nga ng attendance kasi mukhang nababawasan na tayo. Kanina 23 tayo, 24. Pabilang po muna. And I'll give you a 5-minute health break. 5-minute health break bago tayo mag-start ang module. Okay, go. Done with the health break. Let's start now. Naka-recharge na ba ng konti? Ilan nga ulit? 11 plus 16, ilan? 27, di ba? Tagal ko
Yes
inisip
po.
ko. Sabi ko, natulala pa ako. Iba talaga pag Monday, no? 32 nandito eh. Nasaan yung yung iba? Nasaan yung apat? Isa-isa ako dun eh. Wait nga. Try ko dito sa 33 pala yun.
13 pala yung boys mo.
13? So that's 29. Kulang pa rin. Dalawa. Ay, hindi. Wait lang. Sige, ako na lang mag-check. Habang hinihintay pa natin yung iba. Baka nasa CR pa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 yung boys. Dito na ka magtitingin sa sa napenggon sa ating kanina. Mga girls, dapat 17 yung girls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 yung girls kanina. Pero ngayon siguro 16. I'll report your attendance first. Section PONCE. March 22. That's sorry. Hanapin ko lang yung module na. Sabihin ko. Hanapin natin yung mga modular. Baka may hindi pa nakapagpasa ng record card, Diyan nandito. Tinatanggap ko po hanggang ngayon. Utang na loob po, magpasa kayo. Kahit late na kayo, binibigyan pa namin kayo ng chance. Ano itong pinasa? Wait a minute. Attendance mo tayo. Okay, let's start. Alam kong kating-kati na yung ibang matapos yung klase. Kasi hahabol pa sa rank.
Multiples of n,
So let's have
n factors, or d,
So yung answer dito is
n factorial.
pakinggan nyo muna siya.
Number 2. Evaluate 1 factorial
Narinig
plus
ko
2
yung
factorial
boses.
plus 4 factorial. A, 27. B,
For number 2,
120.
you have to
C,
evaluate 1
700.
factorial plus 2 factorial plus 4 factorial. And the answer here is, for number 1, the answer is letter D, n factorial. And for number 2, that's letter A, 27, because 1 factorial is 1, 2 factorial is 2, while 4 factorial is 24. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 24 is 27. Okay? If you have your calculator, pwede rin, no? To look for the answer.
Is it A,
Now, how about
6,
6 factorial
B,
divided
12
by
over
5
25,
minus 2 factorial?
C,
So that means
120,
that is
or
have
D,
to subtract
11 over 36.
So you have 6
Number
factorial
4.
divided by 3.
Which of the following factorial notation
Number
is not
4,
equal to 10 times 9 times
is
8?
not equal to
Is it
10 times 9 times 8.
A, 6
So
factorial,
if you look at the
B, 10
answers,
factorial divided by 7 factorial, C, 5 factorial times 4 factorial,
we'll have for number
D,
3.
5 factorial over 2 factorial times 4 factorial.
Ay, Shomai. Shoma.
Factorial over 2 factorial. The answer is letter C, number 3.
For number 3, letter C.
Letter B, number 4.
And for number 4, letter B. Later, malalaman nyo how do we get the factorial. Which of the following can be the factorial notation of 42? Ano kaya dyan? Yung factorial notation ay 42, and that is letter D. Okay? We have here a recap. Then, siguro hindi na natin ito gagawin to make it mas mabilis. So, ang gagawin lang, we'll have to give 3 conditions that will satisfy this. The cases, in case 1, dapat a certain object or element must be placed in a position. Yung pangalawa, elements or objects must be grouped together. Yung pangatlo, elements must not be grouped together. So, gagawa lang ng condition using this situation. Okay. So, let us proceed to our lesson.
So you're ready to start a new lesson today?
And
Let's begin. Bobby and Chris are to be
situation, that's Rose, Sheena, Bobby, and Chris are to be arranged in a row for picture taking. And how many ways can we do it? So, pwedeng pag in-arrange natin sila, si Rose, Sheena, Bobby, and Chris, pwedeng mag-iba-iba yung arrangement niyan. Of course, each arrangement is important. Why? I mean, the positions are important because it is the arrangement if the first person to stand is Rose, different siya if the first one is Sheena and if the first one is Bobby and Chris. So of course, there are 4 positions here. Dahil 4 yung position, we have to of course fill each position with each person. So pwede tayo mag-start with any one of them. For example, I started with Rose. So, pag nagsimula tayo kay Rose, yung next position, meron tayong 3 pamimilian, 3 choices. Ulitin ko. Sa umpisa, sa first position, we have 4 persons to choose. Kunwari, pinili ko si Rose. So, 3 na lang. Yung 3 yon, pipili ako ng dalawa. I mean, hindi ng dalawa, ng isa para sa second position. Pero yung second position na yon, sa kanilang 3, isa lang ang papipili dyan. Like for example, kapag pinili ko si Sheena, yung next position, pwedeng si Chris or kaya si Bobby. Kapag pinili ko naman si Bobby, yung next position, pwedeng si Chris. So ang arrangement ko ay Rose, Sheena, Bobby, Chris. Okay? Kapag naman pinili ko si Rose for the first, si Sheena for the second, at si Chris for the third position, yung nasa last position would be Bobby. It will give us the arrangement Rose, Sheena, Chris, Bobby. Eh, paano ko naman kung si Bobby yung nasa second position? Of course, the third position could be Sheena or Chris. And if I choose Sheena, the last position will be filled with Chris. It will give us Rose, Bobby, Sheena, Chris arrangement. And the other one, pwede din namang after ni Chris, Sheena. So that's Rose, Bobby, Chris, Sheena. Next, ay pwede rin naman na Rose, Chris, Sheena. And then, after ni Sheena, pwedeng si Bobby. Or kaya naman, pag si Bobby yung pinili ko for the fourth position, the last position would be, wait lang. The last, if I choose Bobby for the third position, then the last is Sheena. So, depende yan sa arrangement. Basta dito sa arrangement na to, nag-start ako kay Rose. Then, yung mga sumunod, depende na. Okay? At ginanap natin lahat ng posibleng arrangement kung saan ang umpisa ay si Rose. So, papansin niyo lahat ng umpisa ay si Rose. Then, the other positions, iba-iba na. Okay? So, nakabuo tayo ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions dito. Now, what if I start and do the same process? I start with Sheena. If I do that, I'll have how many arrangements? Tingnan natin. And we also have 6 arrangements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All in all, yeah. A total of 12 meron na tayo. Okay? Na arrangements. How about if Bobby is in the next position, in the first position? So kapag first position ay si Bobby, and we do the same process, we'll have 6 arrangement also. So that's 18 already. And pag si Chris naman yung nasa first position, and we do the same process, we'll have another 6. So all in all, we have 24 arrangements. Of course, as you can see, medyo mahaba yung proseso. Ilista pa natin isa-isa, mag-arrow diagram pa tayo, i-arrange pa natin yung mga arrangements na nabuo natin, and so on. So it will take us a lot of time para ma-solve lang yung isang problem. So ang question dito, of course, we are now in math. Math makes everything simple. Nagmumukha lang siya komplikado kasi nahihirapan most of the students. Pero actually in math, it makes things simple. So aside from listing, aside from arranging the letters, writing down the names, can we also use different processes, steps for us to get the answer? Kasi ang answer ay 24. So ano kaya yung pwede natin gawin? Of course, meron tayong easier way to do this. And that is for us to observe the pattern. Or should I say, the placing of each person in each position. So like for example, tingnan natin, di ba, meron tayong 4 na position. So kung may 4 na position ka, you have the first position, second, and third, and fourth. So you have to look at the pattern in choosing one person in each position. Ilang choices ba yung meron tayo? For the first position, we have how many choices? Kung 4 yung taong i-arrange natin, 4 din yung position, ibig sabihin lahat sila pwedeng ma-place in each position. So kung 4 yan, sa first position, pipili tayo ng isa. Right? Then, kapag nakapili ka na ng isa, you are choosing from 4 persons, nakapili ka na ng isa. Yung second position, 3 na lang yung choices mong tao na pwede mong pagpilian. Kapag pumili ka doon ng isa, sa third position, 2 na lang. And kapag pumili ka pa dyan ng isa, sa fourth position, 1 na lang na pwede mong pagpilian. And if you multiply this numbers, 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, it will give you 24, which is what our answer is. So our answer is 24 arrangements if there are 4 persons to be arranged in a row for picture taking. So just by looking at the way how we choose each person in each position, we can create a shorter way of answering this problem, which is for you to multiply the number of um, choices per position. So actually, see 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is a factorial. You can also rewrite that to factorial. And that is 4 factorial. Ano yung ibig sabihin ng 4 factorial? 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So kapag nakita niyo dyan 6 factorial, what does it mean pag 6 factorial? Anong ibig sabihin pag 6 factorial? What does it mean when I said 6 factorial? Anyone in the group?
Yung product niya, ma'am, ng 6 pababa.
Apo, product ng 6 and the number is below it. Hanggang 1 lang, okay? So, that's 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. How about 100 factorial? Ganun din, 100 times 99 and so on up until we get 1. Okay? Until we get to 1. Naintindihan? So, for you to understand more of factorial, let us look at the definition of factorial. A factorial now is a product of all positive integers less than or equal to a given positive integer and denoted by an integer and an exclamation point. Like for example, what we saw earlier, 4 factorial. So 4 factorial is product of 4 and the numbers less than it. Positive numbers less than it. Tatandaan niyo yan ha. So positive numbers less than it. So that's 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 0 is a non-negative, non-positive number. So hindi kasama yon sa rule. Kasi ang rule lang ay positive integer. So makikita mo siya kapag nakita ka ng number at merong exclamation point. Hindi ibig sabihin ng 4 factorial, 4. Hindi ibig sabihin ganun. Okay, though sa English, 'di ba? When we look at an exclamation point, ang naiisip na natin doon ay expression na ikaw ay in pain or something like that. So let us have examples. We have here 5 factorial, 4 factorial, 3, 2, 1. All those are factorials. So we have 5 factorial is 120, 4 factorial is 24, 3 factorial is 6, 2 factorial is 2, and 1 factorial is 1. And in factorial, one of the rules, okay, is that when you have 0 factorial, it is also equal to 1. Now, what if the factors are arranged in ascending order? Kunwari naging 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. Is it 5 factorial also? Does it change anything? Hindi po. So, kahit in ascending order pa yan, or kahit nga, minsan kahit 3 times 2 times 5 times 4 times 1, magkakaiba-iba. But still, that is a product of that integer and the numbers, positive integers less than it. Still, that's factorial. Okay? Huwag kayo masasanay na magkakasunod-sunod siya. Eh, paano kung jumbled yan? But still, it's equal to 5 factorial. Now, for more examples, let us have writing of factorials. So, dito sa number, letter A, we have 12 factorial. Isasulat natin siya na dapat one of its factors is 9 factorial. So, pag ginawa mo yun, of course, you have to write 12 factorial following the product less than it. Pero dapat one of its factorial is 9 factorial. I mean, one of its factor is 9 factorial. So, 12 factorial is equal to 12 times 10 times 11 times 10 times 9 factorial. So, yung may factorial, ginawa natin siyang factor ng 12 factorial. So, you can also express this, pwedeng one of its factor is 5 factorial, pwedeng one of its factor is 11 factorial. Just have to write it this way. So, what if given naman 15 factorial with a factor 13 factorial? Sana magiging answer dun? Dali lang yan. 15 factorial tapos kailangan isa sa factor niya ay 13 factorial.
Ma'am,
Kaya nga,
2,730.
ano po?
2,730.
Yung factor, I mean, yung 15 factorial. Right? So, yun
Hanggang
yung
13,
sinabi
ma'am.
ko. 13 lang. Oh. So, ganito. Ang kinukuha natin dito is yung factors. We are not going to answer kung ano yung factorial mismo. Ang gagawin lang natin, i-express lang natin siya to factors. Kukunin mo yung factors ng 15 factorial. At dapat, yung isa doon ay 13 factorial. So, ang gagawin natin, that's 15 times 14 times 13 factorial. Dapat yun lang yung answer. Kasi ang kailangan lang natin ay yung factor niya. Di ba ito factors? When we say factors, these are the numbers being multiplied to get that number. Right? And since ang kailangan natin dito is 13 factorial, makita natin yung 13 factorial, you express the factorial as this way. 15 times 14 times 13 factorial. Basta isa lang doon ay 13 factorial. Okay? So, you don't need to solve for the product of the numbers. Ang kailangan lang is to rewrite given the factors. So, katulad dito sa sa letter C, yung 10 factorial, kailangan i-express natin siya sa factor with a factor of 5 factorial. So, from 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial hanggang makaabot ka dun sa factorial na kailangan. Okay? So, what if, bibigay ako kasi last example na yan dyan sa number 1. I have 20 factorial and I want you to factor it out. At kailangan, one of its factor is 11 factorial. What is your answer? What should be your answer? Yes. Ano Pastrano?
20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 15 times 14 times 13 times 14 times 13 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial.
Okay. Kaya lang, nabanggit mo ba yung 16?
Hindi.
That's 20. Hindi yata. That's 20 times 19 times 18 times 17 times 16 times 15 times 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 factorial. So, yun lang yung gusto dito, yung goal dito is for you to rewrite the factorial with a factor given specific factorial. Okay? Huwag kayong malilito. Don't have to get any product. Rewrite pa lang. Okay? Another, 50 factorial, rewrite it with a factor of 43 factorial. Postrano, mukhang nalagdatik si Postrano ngayon, no? Ay, iba naman daw, Postrano, si Don Latre.
Ay, ako po ba, ma'am?
Ma'am.
43 po, di ba, ma'am?
Apo, 50 tapos 43.
Ano po, 50 times 49 times 48 times 47 times 46 times 45 times 44 times 47 times 48 times 49 times 48 times 47 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 times factorial po. Factorial
Times 44 times
40, ano po. The factor, ano po, times
43.
factor of 43 po.
So 44 times 43 factorial. Okay? So the term is factorial. Okay? So malinaw na tayo dyan sa rewriting of following factorials. How about for example number 2? Dito sa example number 2, mag-evaluate tayo. When you hear the word evaluate, of course, you have to get the product. You have to get the product of the numbers that includes to that factorial. Like for example, letter A, it's 6 factorial. So, ano yung value ng 6 factorial? Okay, dangan, bawi. Ano yung 6 factorial?
Yung ano ma'am, 720.
720.
20.
Blas, how about 6 minus 2 factorial? Blas. Naka-raise siya ng hand.
24 po.
24. Why is it 24?
24.
What is 6 minus 2 factorial?
4 po. 4.
4
4
factorial.
4 factorial
Lagi niyo
po.
sasabihan yung word na factorial, hawag lang 4. Kasi 4 is different from 4 factorial. And letter C, Rabe. Dahil late ka. Letter C. Rabe? Asan si Rabe? Rabe. Rabe.
Wait lang ma'am, sasolve ko muna.
Sige.
Sasolve na ba ma'am?
Apo. Dalawa sa lalaki, sa 15. Isa sa babae, 18. That's 23.
$168.
168. Bakit 168? What is 7 factorial?
5,040.
5,040. How about 4 factorial?
24.
What is 3 factorial?
6.
6 plus 24.
30.
5,040 divided by 24. At ano?
168.
30. That's 160. Tingnan natin. That's 160. Okay, so ganun yung ginawa. Kinuha mo na yung, pwede na itong dumiretso tulad nito kung may calculator naman kayo, idiretso nyo na. Huwag nyo nang isulat tong mahaba. Kasi it will take you time, of course. Alam nyo naman na how to get the factorial. So let's have example number 3. How about if you were asked to solve for x? Like for example, in letter A, dx is equal to 8 factorial. Now what is the x? I mean, what is the value of x? Of the variable x. Kasi sabihin nyo, walang value yung x namin, ma'am. Ano yung value ng variable x? Just 8 factorial. Ano po? Yes? Other hand. Albaran. Mukhang nakakita ko sa Albaran nagtaas. Yes, Albaran?
Ma'am, hindi po. Napindot lang.
Okay. Sige, Gonzaga.
40,320.
40,320. And let's have letter B. Ay, meron na. Ano ba yan? So, sa letter B naman, nakita mo yung answer. Sa letter B, ang binigay sa atin na equation is x plus 3 factorial equals 6 factorial. So you have to find a factorial that when you add that to 3 factorial, kasing value siya ng 6 factorial. And for us to do that, we can simply transpose 3 factorial to the right side of the equation. So from positive, it will become negative. Then you have to get 6 factorial. And 6 factorial is 720. Now, what is 3 factorial? 3 factorial is 6. 720 minus 6 is 714. Meaning, the value of the variable x is 714. Okay? Next. Next, for letter C, we have 3x equals 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial. So what do you think is the value of the variable x? Ano kaya yung value ng variable x siya? What is 4 factorial? Iba naman.
6 po.
4 factorial is
24.
24. How about 2 factorial?
2.
2. So 24 divided by 2 is
12.
12.
now 3x equals 12. Now what is the value of the variable x?
4 po.
4.
4 po.
So, wait lang ah. I'll start sharing my entire screen. Kasi mag-open ako ng Jamboard. Kasi hindi ka makakaba. Ayun. Kasi na yung Jamboard ko. So, di ba nakalagay 3x, wait lang, nipis niya. So, we have 3x equals 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial. So, pwede yung kaninang ginawa natin, we simply get the values. We have 24 divided by 2. So, we have 3x equals 12. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 4. Right? So, pwede yan. Or we can also do another way. Another way is, diba, we have 3x equals 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Ito, pwede natin siya express with a factor of 2 factorial. 3x equals 4 times 3 times 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. Then we can cancel 1 and pag kinancel natin yan, we'll have 3x equals 4 times 3. Divide both side by 3.
Lalaki naman yung mundo sa...
Ano ba yan? Masabi. So, pwede natin i-cancel yan. So, x is equal to 4. So, pwedeng ito, depende sa kung ano yung mas madali sa inyo. Pero, I will suggest this kung medyo malalaki na yung numbers. Okay? Basta either of the two. Kung saan kayo mas nadadalian. Is it this way, getting the values, or pwede rin naman ganito? Okay. Next. And so we get x equals 4. So for the wrap up, you have to remember that when we say factorial, it is the product of all positive integers less than or equal to the given positive integer. And it is denoted by the integer and an exclamation point. Like for example, it's 12 factorial, 10 factorial, and so on. And pwede rin natin siya, we can also write it in this form, yung n factorial. So Cn stands for the number. Like for example, 12. So 12 factorial equals 12 times 12 minus 1 is 11 times 12 minus 2 is 10 times 12 minus 3, 12 minus 4, 12 minus 5, until we get to 1. Okay? So that is one of the, hanggang 1 lang tayo. Then, you also have to remember that 0 factorial or 0 factorial is defined as equal to 1. Then you will answer the valuing. This is very interesting sa valuing. In the book, Anna's Mysterious Multiplying Jar, the author tells us a story of a mysterious jar and how within it are an island, 2 countries within the island, 3 mountains within each country, 4 kingdoms within each mountain, 5 towns within each kingdoms, 6 homes within each town, and etc. So Anu uses a mysterious jar while you will start with your own mysterious bag. So you have to think of an item that can be put inside the bag that will follow this concept. So you have to collaborate with your family members and you have to try to reach 5 factorial. Kasi ito, di ba? Within an island, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. If you look for this book, you'll see the arrangements. The consecutive numbers. Kakasunod. So, kaya tutuloy nyo to reach 5 factorial. Then, for the post test, nasagutan nyo na yata ito. Nasagutan nyo na rin yata yung activity. And because of that, we will proceed now to mag-exit. Ayaw nyo naman masaya. Ay, very good. Hindi na siya gumagalaw. Ayan. Gusto mo bumalik sa So let us proceed now to 3. Para pag maaga tayo natapos, sisimulan nyo na yun, ano, yung PowerPoint nyo na valuing. Then, sasagot na rin kayo ang tawag dito. They call that the worksheet and quizzes. So, ang gagawin nyo ngayon, ang ipapasa nyo sa akin sa Google Classroom. Ay, no. Sa GC na, sa Google Classroom na lang muna. Para habang binubuo nyo pa lang siya, is yung screenshot nyo ng inyong valuing. Screenshot kasi nasa PowerPoint presentation na. Then, yung pinasa nyo sa akin nung nakaraan sa Google Classroom. Kasi may iba na hindi pa nagpapasa. So for module number 3, we'll have permutation formula. So of course, our expectation here is for you to apply the formula in finding permutation of n objects taken on at a time. So ano ba yung formula ng permutation para mas madaling mag-solve, di ba? Ito. So for the pretest, what is permutation of any taken 5 at a time? Ayan, natin yung sagutan. Let's proceed first to the lesson. Ayan. So suppose that you want to store each of the items in the box. Second, ang given situation here is during the quarantine, you have the time, of course, then you decided to clean your room and you find the following items. Ano na yung mga items na yun? A watch, yeah, the laptop, the mobile phone, the shoes, the book, the tablet, the bracelet, and the shirt. So after you clean and you decided to put or to store each of the items in a box. But of course, since you have 3 boxes, you only have to place 1 item per box kasi yun lang ang kasya. Then, mangyayari is you have to choose from these 8 items kung alin lang dyan yung ilalagay mo sa box. Okay? So, which of the following should you place in the first. According to your priority, according to the importance. Alin na ilalagay mo sa first box, sa second, and sa third. So tingin nyo, if you were in this situation, ano nang ilalagay nyo sa first? And dumating na yung ano nyo, yung dumating na yung IA nyo. IA pala natin. So, kunwari si Aries Gado. Kunwari si Aries Gado. Si Aries Gado, nandiyan ba siya? Unti-unting bumibitaw yung iba. Ang balate. Balate. Asan si Ambalate? Ambalate, naka-raise ka ng hand mo. So, alin po kaya dyan yung una mong ilalagay dun sa box? Narinig ba ako ni Ambalate? Natulog na yata si Ambalate. On nyo nga yung mic nyo, parinig nga ng mga boses nyo. Kung andyan pa kayo.
Hello.
Kahit ano sabihin nyo.
Bye po.
Hello po. Naman sa grade. Char.
Yung iba, naku,
Mama.
hindi ko pa nakikita yung iba.
Hello.
Sige, isa pa po.
Mama. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Hi, ma'am.
opo. Asan yung
Ano
iba
ba
na
ng
si
pangit mo?
Ilaga, si Minyosa, hindi nagsasalita, si Santos, si Bobile, si Labares, si Velasco, si Buyan, Lagadmo, si Gieta, hindi nagsasalita. Mukhang mga tulog na. Kaya niya yan. Oh, wait lang, ayusin natin yung layout. Yung 49 na. Hindi ko kayo nakikita lang. Asan na yung tinatanong ko si Ambalate? Nag-lower ka ng hand. Kasi Dolatre mo na naka-raise yung hand. Hindi ko pa nakikita ko. Okay. Sige, Dolatre. Alin ang una mong ilalagay sa unang box? Pangalawa, second box, and last sa pangatlong box. Ano po?
Ay, ako po ba?
Apo.
Okay po.
Ano
Iba
na?
po, ma'am, yung naka-script.
Ay, sorry. Kasi nagtatanong yung mga teacher eh.
Nakaputuloy ako. Ano po, yun dun po sa... dun po sa unang box. Ano po, pwedeng yung laptop, tablet, saka yung mobile phone po.
Laptop, tablet, mobile phones, lahat digital.
Opo.
Gadgets. Sabagay, kasi importante ngayon.
Opo, tapos dun po sa pangalawang box.
Isa na per
issues.
box.
Ay, okay na po. Okay na pala.
Kunwari lang masyadong maliit yung box, isa lang kasha. Tapos yung laptop mo, yung netbook para mag-teach. Eh, yung iba, si Blas.
Ano po, ma'am?
Ano
No.
ilalagay mo?
Pipiliin ko po, um, tablet, tapos shirt, tapos shoes po. Yun lang po.
Shoes.
Ayan.
Ulitin, ano yung una?
Ano po, tablet po ni Mayor Vico Soto.
Tablet, shirt, tsaka
Shoes
shoes.
po.
So, yun yung mga choices nyo, of course, iba-iba because of your priorities and kung alin dyan yung meron kayo. Siguro sa iba ganon. Okay? So, what if I started with one object? Like, for example, ang napili ko to place in the first box ay yung laptop. Kasi yun yung lagi kong ginagamit sa trabaho. Pangalawa is yung phone. At pangatlo, of course, for me to teach, I should learn muna yung mga concepts. So, I need the book. So, para sa pangatlong box. So, yun yung choice ko. Then, of course, since iba-ibang klase tayong tao, iba-ibang choices, of course, iba-iba din yung mga choices nyo, alin sa first and second and third. So, ang kailangan natin is to solve for the possible ways of placing these items. We have 8 items and we only have 3 boxes to place this each item. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin is we will compute ilang ways ba pwede, ilang arrangements ba ang pwede nating magawa if there are 8 items and 3 boxes. So, for us to do that, syempre, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, we will identify kung ilang items ba yung pagpipilian natin for each box. Since we have 8 items, sa unang box, we have 8 choices. Kapag pumili ka dyan ng isa, of course, sa pangalawang box, 7 choices na lang meron ka. And then sa pangatlong box, 6 choices na lang. Then we get the product of that. The product of that is, of course, the answer. Pero, aside from doing that, paano kung maraming boxes ang kailangan? Kunwari, ang boxes ay 100. Then you will place only one item for that. And you have 120 items. Kailangan ba isa-isahin pa natin 120, 120, 119, 118, and so on. So medyo mahaba pa rin yung process. So gagamit tayo ng formula. And we are going to derive that formula from the earlier concept that you learned. And that is factorial. Remember that 8 times 7 times 6 can be expressed to factorial. And how will you express that? Siyempre, kung makikita nyo, 8 times 7 times 6 lang. Anong nawawala? Ang nawawala dyan, the term, or the factor that is missing is 5 and below. And 5 below can be represented as 5 factorial. Kaya sinulat ko siya as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial. Kaya lang, syempre, para makuha mo din yung 8 times 7 times 6, dapat makancel mo yung 5 factorial. So, what I did is, I write it as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. And both of the values in the numerator and the denominator can be expressed in 8 factorial and 5 factorial. So yung nanggaling tayo sa 8 times 7 times 6, nirelate natin siya to factorial, and we'll have 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. Then we simplify it. Ginawa natin mas simply, we express it given the values in the numerator, in the denominator, and in the numerator, you'll see that this is actually 8 factorial, and the denominator is 5 factorial. Now, what does 8 and 5 represent when it comes to the problem? Ano ulit yung problem natin? We have 8 items, and each item can be put inside the box depending on your choices, depending on our choices. So, we only have 3 boxes. Now, how will we relate 8 at yung 5 given the problem? Ano kaya yung 8 doon? Ano naman yung 5? Dolatry, nakataas pa rin si Dolatry. Eh. Kendangan.
Ay, sorry po.
Yung 8 parang siya yung total number of objects. Tapos
Yes.
yung 5 nakuha siya ma'am sa difference ng total number of object tapos minus objects taken at a time. Parang yun.
Okay. So, ang sinasabi ni Kendangan is that, simple lang, yung 8 ay yung number of items. Ilan ba yung items? 8. Okay? At yung 5 naman ay nakuha dun sa number of items, ibawas natin dun kung ilan lang yung pwede mong piliin. 3 lang yung pwede kong piliin kasi 3 lang yung box ko. So if I have 8 items, 3 lang dun yung pwede kong piliin because I have only 3 boxes. At ilan yung natira na hindi ko napili? And that's 5. So yung 8 is the number of items. Yung 5 naman is yung number na hindi napili. Number of items left. Okay? So as you can see, wait lang, lumampas ako. As you can see, 8 is the number of objects to be placed, and yung 5 is the remaining items that were not chosen, na hindi napili, na naiwan, the items that were left. And, kung mapapansin nyo dito, pwede natin sabihin that N, actually, N here is in permutation, ha? Kasi we have permutation taken R at a time. Permutation of N taken R at a time. Permutation of 8 objects taken 3 objects at a time. So, in permutation, you can denote this as NPR, or simply permutation of N taken R at a time, where N is the number of items and R is the number of choices, or I mean chosen. So, N will be 8. And yung R natin ay 3. Yun yung napili nating items. So, for you to have that, you have to remember that in solving permutation, our N and R are all positive integers. Yung R natin, it cannot be, it is greater than 1 or equal to 1, but it is less than N. Kunwari, I have 10 bags. And for each bag, I will choose a giveaway. 10 bags, pero yung giveaways ko, 20. So, ilan lang doon yung mapipili ko? That's R. Ilan yung pag pinagpilian ko? That's N. Okay? Yung R nyo, hindi pwede na mas mababa siya sa 1. Because kung mas mababa na siya sa 1, ibig sabihin, wala ka ng pinagpilian. Okay? Or wala ka ng pinili. I mean, then, hindi rin naman siya pwedeng mas mataas sa N. Ang dami mo naman pinipili, ito lang ang meron ka na choices. Okay? If you apply it in the problem, yung R natin, yun lang yung yun lang yung pipiliin mo. Hindi pwedeng sobra ka sa pagpipilian o kaya naman hindi ka pipili. Gets? Now, yung nakikita natin symbol, that's we have the N, P, and R. is read as permutation of n objects taken R at a time. Now, we can express it in this kind of notation, yung may P, then parentheses, N, comma, R, close parentheses, or this way, pwede rin naman ganito, where we have P, then we have a parenthesis also, nasa taas ay yung N, then nasa baba yung R, pero walang vinculum or walang line between them kasi magiging fraction na yun, then close parenthesis. So, let us have an example. Sagutin natin yung kanina. Yung N natin will be the number of choices at yung R natin ay yung napili. So, we have 8 taken 3 at a time. That's 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 3. Kasi 8, tatlo lang doon yung pinili mo. So, yung natira, yung i-consider natin. So, we have 8 factorial divided by 5 factorial. And we express 8 factorial with a factor 5 factorial para ma-cancel. So we have 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial. It will give you 8 times 7 times 6, and that is 336 ways. Okay? So let us have another example para ma-evaluate, for you to understand more of this permutation formula. So, for example, ito, 6 yung choices mo at 6 yung pipiliin mo. So, lahat napili, right? So, that's permutation of 6 taken 6 at a time. So, that's 6 factorial divided by 6 minus 6 factorial. And 6 minus 6 factorial is equal to 0 factorial, which is equal to 1. 6 factorial to 720 divided by 1 is still 720. Now, how about for letter B? Permutation of 10 taken 4 at a time. So you have 10 factorial divided by 6 factorial. Express mo yung 10 factorial na may factor, which is 6 factorial, cancel. So you have 10 times 9 times 8 times 7, and that's equal to 5,040. So ganun lang siya kadali. Pwede nga diretso kung meron kayong calculator. How about this one? So how about permutation of 12 taken 5 at a time? We'll have n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So substitute lang natin doon. That's 12 factorial, yun yung n natin. Then we have 12 minus 5 factorial. So we have 12 factorial divided by 12 minus 5 is 7 factorial. So kapag kinancel natin yan, di ba, express natin to to 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 and so on. Hanggang 7 factorial. Right? So ang gagawin ko, diretso ko na. So this will be equal to 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8. Kasi na-cancel ko na yung 7 factorial. And this will be equal to, what is 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 times 8?
95,040, ma'am.
95,000?
40.
040?
Apa, ma'am.
So let's check. So the answer is 95,040. So ganun lang po kadali if you use the formula. Or what if you're asked to solve for the unknown? So solve natin yung unknown, no? So for us to solve the unknown, like for example here, in letter A, we have permutation of 9 taken R at a time equals 504. So solve natin siya. Remember that 3 taken 9 at I mean, permutation of 9 taken out at the time is equal to 9 factorial divided by n, or n, our n is 9 minus r factorial. So, ang nahanap natin ay yung, since they are equal, we can say that 9 factorial divided by 9 minus r factorial is equal to 500. Multiply natin siya both side by pwede natin gawin to. By what is ano muna? What is 9 factorial? Bago natin siya i-divide. What is 9 factorial?
$362,880.
3. Sunod sa 3.
6.
Sunod.
880.
8. 8
80.
ano? 18. 9 minus r factorial. So, ang gawin natin dito, magiging ano siya. Ano, pag kinancel natin yan, magiging ano siya. 3, 6, 2, 8, 8, 0 equals 504 times 9 minus r. Divide both sides by 504. You'll have 9 minus r factorial equals, divide nga to,
720.
720. And 720, siya ay equivalent to what number? To what factorial? Anong factorial siya? Equivalent. 6 factorial, right? So, para maging 6 factorial to, anong number dapat yung r? Sige, gawin natin ito.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. So, that's 9 minus 3 factorial equals 6 factorial. So, our r here is equal to 3. Okay? So, from here, anong napansin nyo? Simula dito, nag-isip tayo ng factorial which is equal to 720. Kasi kapag nag-factorial naman tayo, maaalala mo agad, ito si ano, yung 6 factorial, 720 siya. So we can say that this 720 is actually equal to 6 factorial. Then, we look for a number that when we substitute that to r, you'll have 6 factorial. So, r here is 3. So, nakuha na natin yung unknown. Dito nga, diniretso niya na eh. Oh. Hindi na siya hindi na niya pinagtabi yung dalawa. Ginawa niya, dinivide niya na diretso. Which is also the same with our step. As ang ginawa niya, after getting 6 factorial equals 9 minus r factorial, kinuha na lang niya yung mga values. That 6 equals 9 minus r. Then transpose, naging negative 3. Both are negative, multiply a negative number to make it positive. So we have r equals 3. Okay? How about in letter B? The missing is n. Di ba na ako nakasagot na ganito? So We have B. Pang. So we have letter B. We have permutation of n taken 3 at a time equals 990. So what is permutation of n taken 3 at a time? That is n factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial. Since they are equal, we'll have n factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial equals 990. Next, what is the next step? We have n factorial equals 990 times n minus 3 factorial. I know, we cannot do that. Naalala nyo how we express n factorial? This is n factorial eh. How do we express n factorial when it comes to factorial? We can express that to n factorial times n minus 1 factorial times dot until we get to 2 until we get to 1. Anong ibig sabihin ba nito? Ang ibig sabihin nito, if you have kunwari 5 factorial, that's equal to 5 factorial. Ito yun. 5 factorial. How about n minus 1 factorial? That's n minus 1, which is 4 factorial. So ito, yung n minus 1 factorial ay 4 factorial. How about n minus 2? That's 3 factorial. N minus 3, 2 factorial. I mean, times 2. Ba't ako factorial ng factorial dito? Times 2 and times 1. So yung n factorial can be expressed to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 until you get to 2 and 1. So that's 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Kaya lang dito, our example here is n minus 3. So ang gawin natin, si n factorial, i-express natin siya ng ganito. Wow! Para makuha natin yung n minus 3. So ano magiging itsura nun? So and that would be, si n factorial magiging n times, or parenthesis na lang, n times n minus 1 times n minus 2. Kailangan makancel natin si n minus 3 times n minus 3 factorial divided by n minus 3 factorial. So remember, in permutation, in factorial, we can express n factorial this way. So, in-express natin siya sa ganyan para makuha natin, makancel out natin yung n minus 3. So, we'll have, cancel natin to. So, we will have here 990. So, meron tayong natira dito na n minus 1 at n minus 2, which is equal to 990. So, yan, n minus 1, n minus 2 equals 990. Itong n minus 1, n minus 2, ang ibig sabihin ng tatlong yan is that itong tatlong to means there are three consecutive numbers dapat ang product nila ay 990. So you think of a 3 consecutive number na ang product ay 990. Sige nga, mag-isip kayo ng 3 numbers whose product is 990.
Mama ka, ma'am.
Yes po.
11 times 10 times 9.
Oo nga. Tama. So that's 11 times 10 times 9 is equal to 990. 11 times 10 is 1, ilan ba yun? 110. Then times 9 is 990. So the answer is correct. So alin dito yung n? Alin dyan yung n? Yung n dyan ay yung 11. Yung n minus 1 is yung 10. At yung n minus 2 ay yung 9. Kaya lang, ano ba yung hinahanap natin? We are looking for n. And since we are looking for n, ito lang ang kailangan natin dyan. Ay, sorry. Ito lang ang kailangan natin. Now, we can say that our n is equal to 11. Okay? So, kapag n ang hinahanap, automatic yan, express na natin siya sa ganito. Para makancel natin yung denominator. Pag na-cancel mo na yung denominator, ang next step mo na lang ay mag-iisip ka ng number that will satisfy the given value. Okay? So, ganun lang. Next, letter C. Ay, bilang pa na yun. May C pa ba? Wala na. So, for example number 3, we have to solve the following problems. So, in how many ways can the letters of the word COVID be arranged if all the letters are used? So, let us solve for that. Kapag gagamitin natin ang word na COVID, we have to arrange the letters. At gagamitin natin lahat. What will be my number of items? Ilang letters ba yan? Po?
5 po.
5 po. Ilan lahat yung pipiliin natin? All letters are used. So, 5 din. So, that's 5. Taken 5 at a time. That's 5 factorial divided by 5 minus 5. 5 minus 5 factorial. Automatic yan. Pag nakita nyo pareho sila, 0 na yung denominator. So, that's 5 factorial. What is 5 factorial?
120.
120. Okay? Next. Letter B. Saan si letter B? How many different ways can the 6 grab food motorcycles be parked if there are 8 parking spaces? So, ito number 1. So, there are 8 parking spaces. And there are 6 grab motorcycles. So, we have 8 factorial divided by 8 minus 6 factorial. So, we'll have 8 factorial divided by, what is 8 minus 6? That's 2 factorial. So you can express this to 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3. Pwedeng ganyan, right? Or simply, we can get the values. Pwede rin naman. What is 8 factorial? What is 8 factorial?
40,320.
30,320. Tama?
Ma'am, 40 po. 40.
40,000. 40,320. Uy, 40,320. And 2 factorial is, so what is the value? What is the answer? Pwede na natin itong huwag gawin. Ano po?
20,160.
160. Any question? So far, not. How about, ano na ba number 3? Dalawa lang. And ayun pa yan. Ito bilang walang C. So, all you have to remember is that when you deal with permutation, you have to solve the problem using the formula permutation of n objects taken R at a time, where n stands for the number of objects and R stands for the chosen objects. Taken objects, where n and R are positive integers and R is greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to n. These are the other notations. You can also write that. Yung LBR is read as the permutation of n taken on. Okay. So for your reflection in solving problems of permutation, it is easier if you use formula. In real life, we also need formula to succeed. So you, as a student, what is your formula to be successful in the future? So now, since we are done, I'll give you the link for the um, yung link para sa ating worksheet. I'll give the link here sa ating chat box sa Google Meet. You will answer, and then after that, you'll have your time para gawin yung inyong valuing at yung inyong mga outputs. So, nasend ko na po. Si Ambalate naka-raise na ng hand, pero the rest, you raise your hand if you are now answering the link. Paki-raise yung hand kung nagsasagot na sa link. Binalabag, Alvaran, Nakila, Buyan, Ambalate, Romantico, Galiarte, Rabe, Lavares, Llagas, Salve, Arias Edo, Minyoza. So kapag naka-raise yung hand nyo, isa lang ibig sabihin nun ha. Ibig sabihin nun, nagsasagot na kayo. Okay? Lower natin yung hand ni Ambalate kasi kanina pa nakataas. Itaas mo yan ulit if you are now answering. Check ko nga yung ano nyo, PT1 tsaka yung PT1. Saan na? Bubukas. Ano ba yung nagagawin? Okay.
Ma'am, pwede po magtanong. Ma'am,
Oh,
paano po pag pag-evaluate po? Dun po doon sa worksheet. Yung sagot daw po ba agad?
opo, sagot agad.
Charge.
Ma'am, pag simplify po, parang same lang po, ano, sagot na po agad. Thank you po.
Na kayong gumamit ng kama, ha? Diretso na. Answer agad. Okay. Ha? Ayun naman yung connection. Ayun yung connection. Wala pa. Research. I need to charge. Allow me to charge. Oh,
Ito.
Ma'am, dapat po ba sa 10 and 13 wala pong X?
Wala, huwag niyo nang lagyan.
Hala, nalagyan ko po. Oh, pero okay na po.
Sabi ko, di ba,
Nasubmit ko na po.
answer lang.
Sorry po. Okay na po. Thank you po.
Sa number ano yan?
10 and 13 po.
Yung X dyan, multiplication yan.
Ay, okay po. Thank you po.
Ma'am, pwede na po bang mag-leave pag tapos na?
Yes po.
Thank you po.
Okay. Ginagawa lang ako.
Ma'am, yung sa 13 po ba, times po yun? Yung X po
Alin?
dun?
Apo.
Yung sa 13 po. Hala, sayang.
Bakit? Namali kayo?
Opo.
Um, sayang yan. Ay, nako. Thirty points. SE. Anyways, I think Patapos na kayo? Si Winyosa ba nandyan? Parang hindi siya nagsasalita kanina. Ay, naka-raise pala siya ng hand. Ano ba niya pinasa? Mhm. Tingnan mo na. Ah, hindi ko na may kasi nakakaya sa kapitbahay. Tama mo. Kaya.
Ano na yan? Wala naman dyan yung hinahanap ko eh. Wala nga siya.